President. Joining us now is Texas Republican Congressman and member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Nathaniel Moran. Congressman Moran, did Kamala Harris pull that number and supposed Trump tax hike out of thin air? Is there any level of truth to it, or is she just trying to deflect away from all of the policy positions we're hearing coming out of that campaign, like taxes on unrealized gains and so on and so forth?
Yeah, she's pulling numbers and facts out of thin air. Logan, it's great to be with you this morning. If you analyze what was discussed at the DNC, it's just completely false. You heard a tone that was angry, a tone that was attacking, and you heard very little real substantive and certainly no truthful policy discussion out of the DNC. We know that she stands for banning fracking and for decriminalizing illegal crossings and for abolishing private health insurance. These are the things she doesn't want to talk about, and instead she mentions Trump, and the DNC mentioned Trump 150 times during that convention.
You know, her speech was really the highlight of the week for the Democrats because all the momentum kind of went out the window on Friday when we saw RFK Jr. drop out of the race, essentially, at least take his name off the ballots in swing states, endorsing Donald Trump. I want to play a moment that the two of them had in Arizona.
Judging by her bellicose, belligerent speech last night in Chicago, we can assume that President Harris will be an enthusiastic advocate for this and other neocon military adventures. And President Trump says that he will reopen negotiations with President Putin and end the war overnight as soon as he becomes president. This alone would justify my support for his campaign.
Congressman, how does this endorsement of a Kennedy for Trump reshape the political landscape? And do you think that there's a lot of silent, disaffected Democrats like Kennedy who might be feeling the same way?
There absolutely are, and this is going to be huge for the Trump campaign. Was very glad to see RFK Jr. endorse President Trump this past week. It's going to do so much to ensure that those voters that are on the fence but really want great policy, they want government out of their lives, they want strength around the world, and that's what RFK was referring to. You look at the Biden's foreign policy over the past 3.5 years, it's a policy of weakness abroad, starting with the Afghanistan withdrawal. That led to the rise of these totalitarian regimes like Russia and China and Iran becoming more aggressive around the world. That would not have happened under the Trump administration. And we know that's true because it didn't happen under the Trump administration, because people around the world knew that he was a president of strength and he wouldn't put up with it.
Congressman, you just hit on some foreign policy, and you are on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, so I want to get your thoughts on this. We saw Israel launching preemptive strikes on Hezbollah targets in Lebanon. Prime Minister Netanyahu pledging this is not the end of the story. Where do you see this going? And of course, we know Hezbollah was planning to attack Tel Aviv and possibly Haifa this morning. That preemptive strike threw them off. Do you think that this war could spiral out of control, or do you think Israel is going to try to clamp down and end this thing before Iran can really hop in?
Yeah, I think Israel is doing the right thing with these preemptive strikes and with a heavy hand of strength, doing it in a very humanitarian way. But listen, we cannot allow terrorist organizations to continue to grow and develop under our watch. And that's what the Biden administration has allowed to happen. We've been slowing the transfer of weapons to Israel the way that we need to. We've been slowing our support to Israel the way we need to. This is a moment when good needs to triumph over evil. And in order to do that, we have to stand strongly with our closest ally in the region, and that's Israel. And we have to eradicate Hezbollah, Hamas, those that want to do harm, not just to Israel, but to us here in America. This is a national security issue for America. Iran's behind it all. We cannot allow them to continue to grow in strength.
One more thing, too. Operation Prosperity Guardian, the U.S.-led coalition of these countries that are trying to stop these Houthi attacks that have essentially crippled shipping in the Red Sea. The Iran-backed Houthis in Yemen, they hit an oil tanker. It definitely caused some environmental damage there, even though the environmental left has been cheering on the Houthis. Congressman, your thoughts on this Operation Prosperity Guardian? Is it effective? Or does this coalition need to do more to crush these terrorists?
We absolutely need to do more. It's a good first step, and I'm glad we have a heavy presence there, but we need to do more. The Houthis again, we seem over time just to stamp down the immediate problem, and then we let them grow and grow and grow. We need to get to the core of what's behind this, and that's Iran. We need to send Iran a very strong signal. And the problem here is Iran is trying to develop a nuclear weapon. Israel would be a target, but I'll tell you, America will also be a target. We cannot let Iran continue to fund these organizations, and we cannot let Iran get nuclear weapons, or we're going to be in real trouble.
Yeah, if you listen to the Iranian regime themselves, Israel's the appetizer, we're the main course, and hopefully it never gets to that point. Texas Congressman Nathaniel Moran, thank you for being here today. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thanks, Logan. Have a great weekend.